Finally, a few words of gratitude for an event last Friday, a couple days ago. On behalf of Justice Southbury, I accepted an award at the Waterbury Courthouse at the annual Law Day ceremony. The award is called the Young Lawyers Award, and no, I didn't wear a toupee or shave my white whiskers. The proclamation says, quote, "This award is presented to a local attorney who has demonstrated a willingness to serve his or her community and who perpetuates a positive image of our profession," and it says, "the individual need not be a young lawyer." I was first nominated for this community service recognition a couple of years ago, but I declined to accept it because, as I told the person who said he wanted to nominate me, I said, Justice Southbury is about this group, it's not about me. But I kept thinking about it, and I realized that what I hoped was just being a selfless act was actually short-sighted, because this was an opportunity to shine another spotlight on what we all do here on the corner and elsewhere, a chance to increase our persuasive footprint. So I accepted the award on behalf of the efforts of all of us as a group to promote our vision of a more fair and kind community for all. And since I'm apparently the youngest lawyer in the group, my name is on the citation. Many of our Justice Southbury group attended the ceremony in a courtroom with at least 100 strangers and 10 judges. I gave a speech about why Justice Southbury does what we do, what we hope to accomplish, and how it's all part of community service. I tried to encourage those in the audience to feel the optimism and hope that we hope to embody in a time of despair or paralysis. I'll try to summarize part of this speech next week, but I just want to give you a little bit about the sort of the closing flavor where I discuss community service, because it makes sense this week and it won't make sense next week. I said, on behalf of Justice Southbury, this old bald lawyer gratefully accepts the Young Lawyer Award for community service, because to serve the community means to serve the whole community, because we the people means all the people. Because you can't stay on the sidelines if you want, as Gandhi said, to be the change you wish to see in the world. Because our collective responsibility to our shared life means that if we are in a position to help others, then we are called upon to do so to the best of our abilities. We must persist to help this almost 250-year-old constitutional republic meet its challenges by mobilizing the better angels of our nature against those who are determined to tear it down. And at the end, then I invited everybody to, I invited everybody to be fired up, ready to go. And it was really great to have a room full of people, including about 25 fourth grade students from Maloney Magnet School who had led everybody in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I said, if I can get them fired up and ready to go, I'll get everybody. So in that speech, when I said that community service, that's the end of the speech. I'll preview a little bit more of it next week. But when I said that community service means to serve the whole community, I was thinking about the communities that Justice Southbury serves. Obviously, the primary part of the Justice Southbury community is those of us interested enough to come here on Sunday for spiritual and intellectual nourishment and encouragement to not be silent friends but active allies. Who else? Well, Justice Southbury members serve a community online where we encourage social media posters and commenters to communicate in a more positive and respectful way than is usual in that environment. Each week, Justice Southbury rallies encourage passing motorists to consider our messages and values, serving to promote a positive image of what the Southbury community can stand for. Justice Southbury serves a larger community through our Zoom speaker series, and we serve a specific community through our continual offerings to the Southbury Food Bank. Justice Southbury also serves other communities who promote social justice in similar ways as we do, or in other creative ways as we may learn how to do. Just last week, Jeremy and Julia and I were invited by the organizers of a fledgling social justice group in Bethel to discuss with them in a virtual meeting how Justice Southbury's lessons might encourage them to mold their efforts. At the foundation of all of this community service is a word I just used several times: encouragement. Justice Southbury doesn't serve the community by building houses or tending gardens or by rescuing animals. We serve through open encouragement of all who listen to love their neighbors and to think about what that means. We serve by encouraging critical thinking and sincere attempts to put ourselves in the shoes of others. And we serve by encouraging efforts to support our mission to cultivate an inclusive community where all are treated fairly and welcomed as equals. If the foundation of Justice Southbury's community service is encouragement, the root of encouragement is obviously courage. To encourage is to inspire others with courage, spirit, or hope, and that's exactly what we try to do here each week. And this got me thinking about courage. I've long admired this quote from the man who was then the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. He was talking about terrorism, but he could have been talking about the use of fear and hate and blaming that challenges our country today. He said, quote, "Terrorism is a phenomenon that tries to evoke one feeling, fear. It is understandable that the one virtue that most necessary to defeat terrorism is therefore the antithesis of fear, courage." The speaker was Benjamin Netanyahu. And whatever we may think of him today, 25 years after this quote, what he said rings true when we substitute the word Trumpism for terrorism. Trumpism is a phenomenon that tries to evoke one feeling, fear. It is understandable that the one virtue most necessary to defeat Trumpism is therefore the antithesis of fear, courage. And although Justice Southbury is certainly not here just to defeat Trumpism, when we mobilize against all efforts to make this a less fair, less kind community for less than all, we must do so with courage. So here are a few courage quotes to encourage us before I conclude. Mark Twain: "Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear." Maya Angelou: "Without courage, we cannot practice any other virtue with consistency. We can't be kind, true, merciful, generous, or honest without courage." Poet Bunmi Laditan: "If my children grow up to be nothing but brave and kind, I will consider them a smashing success. Because while beauty and wealth are often coveted and intelligence respected, most of the atrocities in this world could have been prevented if more people were simply brave and kind." And finally, the father of Sarah McBride, who is a member of the House of Representatives from Delaware, the first transsexual member of the United States Congress, he said, "If everyone has a little bit of courage, then no one has to be a hero." That's the best community service that Justice Southbury can perform. If all of us have a little bit of courage, then no one has to be a hero. May it be so.